We're at the famous off-road parts manufacturer and rock bouncer factory Busted Knuckle Off Road in Cullman, Alabama. In this episode, we're finally unveiling the full lineup of drivers for this year's Warren Industries 24 Hallenbeck Trail Challenge presented by HB Tuners. We're giving you an exclusive inside look of what it takes to prepare for an event like this, what each vehicle is about, and what goes through every driver's mind a day before we all go to hell for 24 hours straight. For the first time ever, you're also getting a behind the scenes as well as additional bonus content on the Summit Racing YouTube channel.
You guys make amazing content, but we just want to show you a little bit more from our favorite rigs, favorite obstacles, and just a different view of what you're going to see.
So head on over there and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of that.
This is the Warren Industries 24 Hallenbeck Trail Challenge, presented by HP Tuners, brought to you by Flex, Rocks, and Rollovers.
I think what makes all of this is to see rigs like this and this follow that.
Yeah,
you know?
bunch of skill levels.
Yeah, completely different concepts of vehicles, fully street legal, pretty much daily driver Jeeps, you know, following a line of a rock bouncer or a rear steer buggy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is really what makes it at the end of the day.
Hey guys, my name is Matt and this is
Kyle.
And I am with Bleepin' Jeep. This is my buddy, my co-dog for the weekend, and we are in the Scorpion Crawler, which is a 1998 Jeep Cherokee.
Bleepy and I have known each other for over 10 years, way before my life on YouTube.
So Marvin and I have been good buddies for years. I started Bleepin' Jeep back in 2010, and we've known each other since early days when he was doing some really cool off-road shows back in the day. And when he started his YouTube channel, I was all in. Marvin and I, Holly, and a few other people were on the original 24 Hallenbeck, the very first one.
Basically the test Hallenbeck, my first YouTube video ever.
I said I would never ever do it again after that, and somehow he convinced me to come back. So it's gonna be hell for 24 hours, and I might fall asleep a few times, so you might have to nudge me. For 24 hours, all I need is about 18 Dr. Peppers and some chimichangas. Well, to prepare, we gave it a good wash.
Yeah.
I end up carrying almost everything, but we've got all of our tools in this custom-made tool kit here. I can tell which ones are missing. Looks like Ian Johnson stole some to work on his winch over there. We made sure that we had snacks. We made sure we had drinks. But underneath that, I've got tool bags. I've got a tire bag. I've got a winch bag. And did we put that new belt on?
I did.
Oh.
We did put a belt on.
We got a belt. Did you see my burrito cooker? So right here where the evaporator cord typically goes, I've got a burrito cooker. And so I've got copper coils that run through, so all of the coolant runs through there at 215 degrees. About 30 minutes, you'll have some hot burritos or chimichangas. So my biggest concern for the Hallenbeck this year is that even though I've got a pretty capable Jeep, I'm one of the small dogs this year. All these other guys are in rock bouncers, high horsepower rigs, big bell RCVs, and here I am trying to keep up with them. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So this is a 1998 Jeep Cherokee that I built in 2016. I've been refining it since then. Most recently, we did 1 tons, Dana 60 front and rear with rear steer, 43 SX stickies. It's got the straight 6 stock motor, an Atlas transfer case, and an AW4 transmission. My fuel cell is probably about 16 gallons. It should last us for 24 hours depending on how much ground we have to cover. Other than that, I'm pretty hopeful that this thing is going to hold together. The biggest challenge this year is going to be 1, staying awake, and 2, keeping up with those guys with their high horsepower, 1200 horsepower, this and that, is going to be tough. But depending on the terrain, I think we might have a shot.
And I know I said today is an interview day and kind of an easy day, but we are getting ready to do a little shootout.
It's 24 seconds at Hallenbeck, isn't it?
24 seconds at Hallenbeck. That's exactly what we're doing.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
I thought we were gonna run off it.
All I know is I'm too fat to run up it and she's too heavy.
Oh, were you a joshing fellow?
Is this the hill climb we're doing on RC cars instead?
You were worried for nothing.
I just don't want to work tonight.
I don't want to work on your stuff either.
We're using an axial rift rock bouncer for this shootout, not only because they are a ton of fun and great at hill climbs, but also because they are inspired by Busted Knuckle Off Road's rock bouncers. Here's the deal. This is the first ever 24-second hell and back. You see those little flags pointing up? Each flag has a number. So you got 10 gates to cross, you got 24 seconds time. Whoever makes it the furthest within 24 seconds wins. They are extremely powerful. Controlled driving is really the name of the game here. Sounds crazy when you look at this for this little RC car, but it works. We made it way past the top yesterday with this thing, so it's 100% possible. Just a little bit finesse. Whoever wins this 24-second hell and back challenge gets to decide who has to go first behind the trail guy tomorrow.
All right, Matt, let's see what you got.
What's going on, y'all? My name's Tyler Oberste, here with my good buddy James, out of Portsmouth, Virginia, down here in Alabama for this year's 24 Hell and Back.
The man, the myth, the heaviest right foot I know. Whenever Tyler shows up, he usually shows off.
We've been watching Flex Rock's Rollovers for years, and the Hell and Back has always kind of piqued our interest, and when Tyler got the call, he gave me a shout, and I'm here.
Behind us, we got my 1990 Jeep YJ. But don't be fooled, the only person who thinks it's a Jeep YJ is the state of Virginia. She's definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing. She's got a 5.3 LS with a LSA supercharger, screaming bald eagle freedom all day long. Coupled to a Turbo 400, throwing through a set of tons, 40 spline in the back, still baby 35s in the front, but that's all right because we got some bad to the bone RCV axle shafts holding it down for us this weekend.
It's got seat heaters in it to keep us warm if it gets a little cold at night, so we're ready to have a good time and get through this.
At the end of the day, you can't expect the unexpected, but you can damn well try to beat it. The rig's been running good. I've had it together for about 8 years now. We wheel all over the East Coast. One of the things we also do it for, you see on the side of the rig, we got Skids for Kids USA. It's James and I both. He's got a rig as well. We travel all over with the Cletus McFarland team, and we do all burnout competitions with them.
We've been wheeling together for years, and one of the things we like doing the most is wheeling at night, so we're definitely looking forward to the night portion.
You can't see the party lights during the day either.
No, you cannot. No party lights during the day.
Once the booty jams start cranking, it's hard to stop.
It's starting to rain. Hopefully it's only raining here and not where we're actually going tomorrow, because if that is the case, game over.
Biggest concern for me is mental stability. You got to keep that right foot in check, and it's a long game. It's a long game where you got to keep the rig together, you got to keep yourself together, and you got to keep it all in one piece, because we got tons of spare parts, but I really don't want to touch any of them.
From what I've heard about this trail, from talking to Marvin, it's pretty gnarly, and it's going to be a really good time, and I think one of the hardest parts about it is getting through it without breaking, and if we do break, is getting it back on the trail, ready to go.
Yeah, last time we were on the trail, we changed a ring and pinion in the front of this thing in about 2 hours and went wheeling again.
What's the strategy?
We'll find out. Be smart until I'm not anymore.
Seven.
You're right there.
9, 10. 10. The man himself, Mr. Ian Johnson, is in the house.
Yeah, do I look thin? Is this shirt slimming? Because
Those aren't the thin cameras, Ricky.
Can you shoot me from down there, please?
Ian Johnson and Ricky Berry have been a 24 Hell and Back dream team for quite a while now. I am pumped to have them back. After bringing his leaf-sprung Jeep YJ shop truck to last year's event in Utah, Ian is seeking revenge.
My name's Ian Johnson.
And I'm Ricky Berry with RCV Performance. I'm the designated trash talker and co-driver for this race truck. And I'll just be kind of hanging out and hoping he doesn't get stuck so I don't have to do anything.
I brought my Jeep TJ turned into a race car. We call it the Race LJ because it's a goat-built chassis with a Jeep body wrapped around it. So it's got a bunch of cool parts in it and climbs over rocks for fun. It's basically an Ultra 4 car pre-runner, 5.7 LS Turbo 400 Atlas transfer case, Spider Tracks axles front and rear, rad flow shocks all the way around, coilovers, bypasses, and air bumps on all four corners, trailing arms out back obviously, RCV axles in the front, of course, and then inside it's just all about comfort, man. We got rugged radio headsets, we got our comfy suspension seats, I even have a back seat in case someone needs a ride, and then after that it's just all Jeep.
We got pretty much everybody on this ride on RCV Performance axles this time, which is freaking amazing. And the deal that the drivers got here, we're gonna extend to you guys when you see this video. If you are down for a set of the strongest axle shafts in the world, make sure you check out the link in the description below, and we got a surprise for you on that.
This event is so natural for RCV to be a part of because it is a hardcore four-wheeling event. And that's what we do. We provide hardcore four-wheeling axles. So this is a natural thing for us to be at. I personally enjoy it. Although after every single year that I do this, this will be my third, I say I never want to do it again.
That's because this is second degree fun.
Second degree fun?
Yeah, so second degree fun is when you're doing something, you don't find it fun, but then like 6 months later when you look back on it, you're like, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's fun, terrible fun, second degree fun. That's all you need to know.
But I'll definitely do it again.
I find it very interesting that I drove, and Ricky, and a lot of people drove 24 hours to Utah to do hell and back. A lot of East Coast people drove all the way to Arizona to do hell and back. But when it came time to actually wheel in the Southeast, where all the West Coast guys say it's so easy and we're just making it look hard, none of them showed up.
There's something that they have, it starts with a T and it makes it go easy.
Traction.
Ah, that's it. Yeah, we don't have that here on the East Coast.
I'm let down by all those West Coast guys who said they were gonna be here. None of them showed up. I want American Buffalo barbecue mac and cheese.
You want to
Flavor Town, baby! I prepared this rig the same way I prepare all my rigs. I made sure it started. So this is the second 24 hell and back for this truck. I changed absolutely nothing because this thing always works right out of the box.
Do you want a lunch, like a mountain cobbler or peach cobbler? I got peach too.
Yeah, I need peach.
You've tried these before, so how are they?
They're freaking amazing. I don't know if they're as amazing as I remember them, but at 2 in the morning, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you really got to condition yourself. This isn't something that you just go and do, right? You don't just decide that you're going to go do 24-hour hell and back on a whim. You got to prepare for it. You got to train your body. This is real difficult, you know, man stuff.
This is harder than breakdancing in the Olympics.
Absolutely. I skipped meals. You know, instead of eating every 4 to 6 hours, I ate every 5 to 7 hours. I have a horrible sleep schedule, and I maintain that through the year to prepare me for this.
I did the opposite. I thought since we were going to be in the buggy for 24 hours, I bulked up and doubled my meal count. That way I wouldn't be hungry.
Yeah. We'll see which one pays off.
We'll let you know in the end. Replacing my winch with a new winch because it's cooler. When you reach a certain level, once you've used your winch once, you just replace it. It's like certain famous people, like you'll never see famous females wear the same dress twice. When you reach a certain level, you need to always have a new winch.
I believe this event is probably, as far as the industry is concerned, this is the top of the line, the epitome. Everybody wants to do this event that hasn't been able to do this event. If you're a hardcore wheeler and you've been watching YouTube, a lot of YouTube is not real, true, brutal, hardcore wheeling. This is real stuff. We're not making TV necessarily, right? This is legit documentation of the hardcore stuff that we're doing, and I think that appeals to a lot of people. I'm super fortunate to be able to be a part of it. And, you know, we make jokes about it being miserable and stuff, but at the end of the day, this is what we're all passionate about, and we get to share it with other people that are passionate. This is the cream of the crop wheelers, so it's going to be a good time.
I just hope I don't have to poop in the woods.
Any RC car rock bouncing experience?
We'll find out.
Hey, you went sandbagging. Yeah. You went sandbagging.
When we painted my Jeep, we did it at his paint shop in Alabama. We ended up also painting his Samurai, which you guys are going to see here in a little bit. So we got twin paint shops here running through this trail this weekend.
I'm Alex. This is my wife, Britney. We brought my Samurai to compete in the 24-hour Hell and Back Challenge.
Alex got it figured out. He gets to paint some of the most high-end builds in the Southeast for a living, and then goes out and scratches them for fun on the weekends. He is an incredible driver, but can he survive 24 Hell and Back?
We've known Marvin for quite a few years. We've done a Rain of Rocks. We did a YouTube series at my place to paint Marvin's Jeep and my Samurai. And then we did a We Rock video at Dayton when we went up there and competed in 21. My engine combo is like a 2.3 Suzuki Aereo motor. The front axle's a Ford Dana 60. The rear's a Chevy Dana 60. The axles had to be changed. We went to RCVs. We went to a Warren winch. We did a bunch of nut bolt checks, you know, everything like that. Normal maintenance items, but a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. 42-inch reds, because that's all I run on, you know, my rock crawlers. Still a Samurai transfer case and transmission. The transfer case is just a billet housing, same gears and everything. I still call it a Samurai because it makes everybody mad. They're like, oh, there's nothing left of it that's Samurai. I'm like, what's not Samurai, you know? Running Switch Pros for all my electrical. Everything's controlled off of that. We did a Warren RC9 winch for our recovery. I think the favorite part of my rig is probably going to be the lightest rig of everybody. I think I probably have like almost 2,000 pounds on less than some other people, and then maybe 1,000 on some other, you know, Jeeps and stuff. So hopefully that'll, you know, let me excel a little bit better, being a little lighter. It's a lot less horsepower, but, you know, it makes up for it in the weight. I did bring 2 spare Heims. I only run 2 sizes of Heims on this. I brought 1 of each, and I brought a tool bag and like a spare brake line, hydraulic line, and a clutch cable, just in case, but they're all real small. I didn't bring like spare axles, drive lines, or anything like that. Our biggest concerns are probably gonna be staying awake, not wearing the pink helmet.
I mean, we've got energy drinks, we'll be fine.
Or hungry. She'll be hangry if she doesn't get it.
I do need my snacks.
Snacks all day. She'll probably bring her little snackle box, you know.
Go.
It just wants to go that way. I'm out.
What's up? We made it. Long drive, really long drive. Came from North Cuba, aka Miami. And now we're gonna talk to that guy and see what this is about. My name is William Avendano. I'm originally from Colombia. I'm 35 years old. And I live in Miami. I've been there for 24 years, and I own the off-road shop of Miami. And we build things like this. And we're gonna give him hell at this 24 Hell and Back.
This is my best friend Will. He's been on every single trip with me this year. You guys should know him by now.
I actually was part of the first 24 Hell and Back in Kentucky. So I've known Marvin for over 13 years at this point, and we've been really good friends, and we've gotten all kinds of adventures. And Marvin is like, dude, like you've become a good part of my team, and I want you to stick around. So I want you to come to this 24 Hell and Back and do your thing. So here we are. Feeling good, like I should. I brought my 2015 Jeep JKU. It's stuck to the bone, kinda. It's a very off-the-shelf Jeep. We try to keep our builds very user-friendly. Now, there's buggies like this that are awesome, and someday I'll have one like that. But right now, I just like to show people what a Jeep is capable of. And I'm hoping that this time I'm able to show and keep up with the rigs out there, which are gnarly. So I'm like a butter knife in a gunfight. So let's see how that goes this weekend. I have AC, I have the most comfortable vehicle here. So technically I'm the most prepared for this battle. They don't have any of that stuff. So good luck to them.
Yes. But I would say between Brad, Will, and I, we are the weak links of this 24 Hell and Back.
But you guys have a couple things on me. So he has lighter and more power ratio. You have more power than both of us, and both of y'all got stickies. How do I prepare myself? I made some time to take the whole Jeep apart, axles, kind of go through everything. I want to point some of the good parts that I have on this that have supported me throughout the years. One of them is Dana Spicer. Great axles. You could literally buy these things off the shelf on my shop, or most shops, to be honest. My secret weapon is my axles and my suspension. I went through my RPM suspension and rock jug parts, and everything seems to be good. So my cooler, I have a couple Capri Suns. I don't like Lunchables. Marvin seems to like those. Besides that, just snacks, a couple Monsters for the energy, and they also have this like lemonade. There's like a recovery lemonade, and it's really good. So I'm excited to drink a couple of those and just power through it. You know, mentally, you just gotta be ready to have fun, have a good attitude. That's my take. Like, there's other people that like, they don't know how to drive, so they brought like ring and pinions and axle shafts and this, right, Tyler? But besides that, I just brought a couple parts. We're good.
You're not gonna get my ring and pinion when that thing shreds to pieces.
I do have space for your extra gas tank. My biggest concern is I just want to make it in one piece. So the first 24 Hell and Back, I was younger and dumber. So I just went full send every obstacle. My Jeep lasted like 9 hours before I had to like quit. The Jeep broke. So this year I'm gonna send it, but I wanna make it the whole 24 hours and hopefully have the least pink helmets. I do like to cook, but this is not an overlanding event. However, I did bring my ladder, so in case we have to overland, I'm ready. Marvin has kept everything very good, like a secret, so I don't think anybody really knows what we're getting into. But I was able to like check a couple of obstacles, and man, like they look gnarly, but I just can't wait to put tires and see what the Jeep does, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm committed to it. I don't know if that guy is gonna handle it, but we'll figure it out as we go. Who's your puppy?
Nice job. Go.
Great to finally meet you, man. Let's get you set up. This is our wild card.
Hi, I'm Jason Gruce.
I'm Keller McCowan.
We're from St. Louis area, about 45 minutes west in Missouri.
This is the rig we built together, Major Pain.
Jason is this year's FRR wildcard winner. He applied for 2 years in a row and finally got the spot. I mean, look at what he's got sitting behind him. Whatever this is here, got my attention already. This is super cool, but what? This is freaking sick. Any one of you can apply for the FRR wildcard online and can be a part of the next 24 Hell and Back.
How long have you been looking forward to this day?
Since you guys did the Oklahoma one, wherever that was, 4 years ago or so.
Last year's FRR wildcard winner set the bar very high. Can Jason carry the torch and honor the FRR wildcard legacy?
This is a 1994 Jeep YJ that we call Major Pain, and it's pretty well built from the ground up. Me and my buddy, we started this project with nothing but axles and motor sitting on a chassis table and started bending tube around it, set a Jeep tub up there, and kind of what we ended up with. It's pro-charged 5.3, 14 bolts, rear steer, pretty much as built as you can build things. I feel like every part on it is tough enough to handle whatever, and be truthfully honest, it keeps throwing the belt off of it, but we think we got that fixed, so that's the biggest worry, is serpentine belt slinging off.
Serpentine. It has big bell RCVs with 300M 40 spline shafts, so our worry is actually in the axles is the ring and pinion itself. We actually brought an extra ring and pinion. And that's our fuse.
Brought a spare transfer case as well, because that's been the only thing that's broke so far mechanically, is the transfer case exploded. So we brought a spare one of those. Worst case, be changed out in 2 hours. As much repair work as we did, we still missed something. There's a crack in the carrier bearing mount, so got to put about 1 inch of weld on it. It should be fine.
Jason puts on a show. A lot of people keep asking me why I would let him drive my rig, and if you know Jason's character, I fully believe that he will help me fix anything that gets happen on this sucker, and I want to see what this rig can do with a better driver. I'm not even gonna lie.
Is it a Jeep or is it a buggy?
It's a juggy.
It's a juggy.
Oh, we hate that term.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I tell you one thing. I have seen an inkling of what one trail we're going to, and it's got a big old pond at the bottom, and I'm scared of water. And I'll go swimming all day long. I am scared of being tied to him in a rig and rolling over in water.
I'm not too worried. Whenever we go out, it's we usually hit the toughest trail each park has to offer. So one of our local parks does a 15-hour nightmare run around Halloween every year, and it runs from like the 4 p.m. to 7 a.m. time. But by the time you drive to the park, do the run, drive home, you're in the 24, 26-hour range. So done something similar. Wheeled till the sun came up several times, but never a full 24 hours on the trail.
We got food for tomorrow night on the trail. So Peak Reefer provided this stuff and it's freaking delicious. So you got beef pasta marinara, beef stroganoff, homestyle chicken and rice, chicken pesto, chicken teriyaki. Any preference?
Like one thing we had to do to prep it was take the 15-inch subwoofer out of it and replace that subwoofer with fuel cells.
We gave up tunes for gas and a few extra drinks and just
Extra tool storage.
wasn't the choice we wanted to make, but it was a smart choice.
Yeah, I like my subwoofer.
Always got you beat, Will. Yeah. All right.
I'm Tyler Garrett. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm the owner of Tom's 4x4 Superstore and Rock Solid Fabrication.
My name is Tim Malcolm, Atlanta, Georgia. We are not blood relation, but I do consider him my brother, and I'm going to be his co-dog in this buggy tonight.
Tyler is not just a master mechanic and a top-tier fabricator, he's also an incredible driver. Watching him wheel his Willis named Betty is pure entertainment.
Oh man! I was on the shootout before and put on a good show, so I feel like I got invited back because it makes for good camera time. I'm super excited to be here. I know that a lot of people would kill to be in this position, and it's a dream for many people. It is a dream of mine as well, so it's super awesome to be able to knock this off my bucket list, so to speak.
There was a little bit of bean spillage in the group chat that we had going on, and then those comments got deleted immediately before I even got to see them, so I have no idea what to expect other than 24 hours of non-stop in the woods, can't go to sleep, can't rest. It's really going to be a challenge mentally. I need my beauty rest.
We've never been on the trail for 24 hours at a time.
No.
No.
So about 3 times longer than normal.
Than normal, right.
Yeah.
I can stay awake, so I'll be able to keep him, alive while we're on the trail at 3 o'clock in the morning. So looking forward to it. I've watched all the YouTube videos of all the hell and back challenges, and so I'm looking forward to be a part of it.
I have with me today my 1946 Willys buggy named Betty. I've had Betty since I was 10 years old, so it's going on 25 years now. I have 1350 drive shafts front and rear that feed fabricated 9-inch axles, Rough Stuff Specialties housing with Spider Trax outers, a true high 9 third member, and 35 spline RCV axle shafts. I would say the biggest strength of this rig is its power to weight ratio. This engine makes roughly 600 horsepower, and the Jeep weighs 3,880 pounds with me in it. It's super light, it's very nimble, it's very agile.
So the strategy is to just send it?
I am good at sending it.
Always the strategy.
I'm good at sending it. I have little tires, so I have to make it count.
This rig, while we do go out west and we'll do day-long adventures, it's not really set up to wheel 24 hours at one time.
It does make, 600 horsepower? And It's got 18-gallon fuel cell. So there was some discussion about whether we're going to have enough fuel to go 24 hours.
I think we're going to cut it off every time we stop.
Yeah, we're not going to let it idle a lot, for sure.
My strategy is going to be steady throttle and try to just keep it straight.
Matt with Busted Knuckle Films.
And I'm Scott with Busted Knuckle Off Road.
At this point, Matt is part of the 24 Hallenbeck inventory. He has shown up with a different rig every single year, and he's bringing the heat with his T4 4-seater Busted Knuckle buggy.
First time I heard of 24 Hallenbeck, I had heard Marvin talk about it here and there about doing something like this. And then as soon as he, invited me and asked if I wanted to be on board for the first one, I was all about it. Actually did it in a Razor, which was the only Razor I think to ever do a Hallenbeck. And this will be my 4th one, so I guess I'm kind of hooked. We brought our T4 this year. This is actually the first one we built. It's about a year old. It's got a LS3, it's about 550 horsepower. 14-bolt steering axles, front and rear with RCVs. This thing is built to beat on, and it will take a lot of abuse. Fuel capacity, this thing's got like a 30-gallon fuel cell, so I don't have to worry about carrying any extra fuel with me. I got plenty of space for groceries and plenty of drinks. I should be pretty comfortable, and it should get up everything I want to climb. I haven't done the best job of preparing this time. I've had a lot going on this week, but I bolt checked it in the parking lot this morning, and it's a year old. We've beat it down pretty good. Trail rode it last weekend. Everything checks out, so we're ready. I mean, they're reliable. We proved that the last time we did a Hallenbeck and was the first rock bouncer to ever complete one. And so we're going to try to complete it with 2 different ones this time. The only spare parts that we are bringing is a spare power steering pump, and that's really it. And my cooler is going to be packed down with some coffees and some snacks, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and that's probably all I'm going to need. I think my biggest concern is these are some of the probably the most difficult trails that anyone's gonna face at a 24 Hallenbeck, one of which has never been completed at all. So this will basically be a trail breaker for it. So I don't know, I think it's gonna be a lot of recovery, but I think we got some good recovery gear and a lot of people that are pretty knowledgeable in that department. So I think we're gonna be okay, but I think it's gonna be a different kind of Hallenbeck this time, but it's gonna be a fun one. Biggest advice for someone that's doing this for the first time is probably to pace yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. It's very difficult to get out there and not want to go do the optional obstacles and things like that and really show out for the camera, because you got to make this thing last the entire 24 hours, and you don't want to be that guy that breaks on the first obstacle and has to work on his junk like I did the first time I went out. So the one we got a trail break, I've done the first part of it. It's one of those deals, you pull up on an obstacle. They had seen it before, and we decided to basically clear out the bottom of it where it was actually possible to attempt. And we actually had 3 or 4 buggies go up that day, but that's where the trail ended for us. Well, since then, since Marvin got involved, they have actually cut and cleared out the entire rest of the trail, which includes something that I don't think anyone's gonna climb. We might have to all winch up, but I guess we'll see.
There it is. Oh, he's got it.
Gas on it.
Oh, easy, easy.
Out of time.
That's all about picking the right line, like trying to get around and not having to go over the logs that are going to toss you down the hill, I guess. So, not bad, I'll take it.
I'm Brad Goodfellow, Marketing Operations Manager at Warren Industries.
I'm Sergio Pinillos. I am East Coast Sales Manager for Warren Industries.
Warren isn't just the new title sponsor, they are also stepping up in a big way to ensure safety. Every participant had their winch thoroughly inspected during the event, and some even received a full complimentary replacement. And trust me, there's a very good reason for that, which you will discover soon.
We brought my personal LJ on this trip, a little turbocharged 4-liter in it.
Axle upgrades and all custom suspension, just kind of trying some stuff out on there. So
I've been with Warren about 7 years, and I built it right after I started with them. It's kind of our test mule. You know, got a crazy idea, we'll test it out on that and see what happens.
obviously set up the new RCVs over this last weekend.
Small rig for this event, so definitely playing the underdog role.
It's both of our first times actually doing the event with Marvin. I said 24-hour Hallenbeck. And you know, this event is for the true enthusiast guy that wants to go out there and send it. So corporate Jeeps are not allowed, so we have to bring our own Jeeps, you know. Well, we're making sure his wireless stuff is working. We're making sure he is changing his conventional hook for an ultra hook. That way he is safe when we will be full sending it tomorrow. Oh, I do have one thing, Brad, that I'm worried about. Snacks. So in the race car, I have my little bag and I'm just eating because this belly doesn't just happen because it's an investment.
Getting some calories in before?
Oh, hey man, we're gonna be out there for 24 hours. You gotta do something right. You gotta eat right before you go in there. I can get hangry pretty easily on the trail, so I need to make sure I'm taking care of it.
This is peak male physical performance, right there.
So I got a chance to pre-run and look at a couple of the obstacles with Marvin. And he came to me a couple of years ago. It's like, man, I've been internationally, and the way they utilize their winches and their tools, you know, the recovery stuff internationally is way different than America. So he's like, I got to find something that we've got to use it as it's intended. And he found it. The phrase, you know, hell and back, not hell and turn around, is definitely going to be used because there's going to be some people that want to turn around.
We're going to put a lot of focus on recovery gear for this one. We know we're going to push a lot of different rigging situations. Always a set of gloves to protect your hands. A lot of sharp stuff out there. We've got rope protectors, lots of straps, tree saver, pulleys, redirecting, doubling the winch line, that kind of stuff. I do bring a good knife and a fast fit. Everybody's running synthetic rope. If we do end up with a rope issue, we can splice it back together and maintain the integrity of the rope. As soon as you tie a knot in a rope, it's less than 50% strength. So we have the tools here to splice it all back together. We've got some hard shackles in here. We should be able to get ourselves out of just about any situation. I am going to throw some longer straps in here that don't fit in the bag. Just to get around extra trees and that kind of stuff.
We put our products out there. We use our products with Marvin. He's actually tested a bunch of stuff for us, with us. I think this is a great relationship that has a lot more to produce. Just doing research and development, we have new products that are actually all the participants are going to have that we're going to try out, you know? And some things work, sometimes it doesn't. And for us, being an enthusiast, as part of Warren, going out there and using our products and watching other people use our products, we can pretty much take all that input and bring it back to our headquarters, our engineers, and be like, listen, this doesn't work, or this works, you know? So for me, that's very important to get out of this event. Some of the other events that we go to, yeah, we get to use the winch here and there, and we get to use it in different scenarios. Racing, we abuse a lot, and we've learned a lot from racing. But this is gonna be, I think, an extreme level of abuse of our products, and I love it.
I didn't really bring any spare parts. I've got, I think I got a spare set of hubs just in case. Maybe a drive shaft in the truck. If something breaks, it's usually catastrophic, and we're done anyway.
We always have a good time, and the relationship that Marvin with Flex Rocks and Rollovers and Warren have together, it puts us to work a lot together. Not just wheeling, but actually consumer shows and a lot of projects that we do as a team, you know, as partners. And I think that being here as Marvin, Flex Rocks and Rollover and Warren together, it's pretty powerful. And I think we not only have a great time out on the trails, but we put an impact on this industry.
I think I'm gonna put the white ones up on top, man. Looks like I got black panels up there. Every time it climbs a hill, you know, you'll see that roof on top. There's a couple hills out there that are more than 90 degrees, so like you pull up on it and you'll just tip over backwards if you don't have a winch. My name is Jake Berkey. I'm the owner of Busted Knuckle Off Road. I'm from Cullman, Alabama.
This year we're honored to have living rock bouncer legend Jake Berkey, not just as our trail guide, but also as the host of today's event. He is on a mission to build an off-road empire. How? By creating turnkey rock bouncers and some of the toughest off-road parts in the game.
This is my first hell and back, and so it's gonna be a little while because I don't know what to expect, honestly. I know that we've got to stay up for 24 hours, and I think that's gonna be the hardest part for me because, you know, we're hosting this event, and so a lot of this is gonna be stuff that I've done before. It's on our property up in Tennessee. And so really to me, I've done the obstacles, but I've never done them with, 18 hours of no sleep or 22 hours of no sleep. And so the complexity of that, plus the complexity of all of the cameras and all of the other competitors and stuff, I think is going to be just insane. I drive Shop Buggy 2.0, which is a 2022 model Busted Knuckle Ride RSS. Starting off in the front, we have the level 3 shock package, so it's got bypass shocks on it. I upgraded to the 300M RCV Big Bell axle shafts just actually a couple days ago. Since the buggy was debuted, we went to an LSA supercharger, and it was an LS3 that was 550 horsepower, and we actually put the LSA supercharger on it, and we were able to dyno about 820 horsepower out of this engine. So it is an absolute monster. We've got a set of Corbeau seats in here, which are the standard seats, but these actually have heaters in them. So tomorrow when it's 50 degrees out and everybody's freezing, I can hit that button right there and I'll be nice and toasty. I've got a 16-gallon fuel cell, which is kind of the Achilles heel of this particular buggy. Whenever I didn't have the supercharger, 16 gallons was, fair. After getting the supercharger, it's something that I really need to upgrade. We have a kit that brings this fuel cell from 16 gallons to 29 gallons. Unfortunately, I didn't get that done before. We do have a Warren winch. This is the 9.0 RC. This is a short drum competition winch. It's super lightweight, and we're gonna be giving this thing a huge workout tomorrow. I think my biggest concerns doesn't necessarily resonate with myself or preparation for myself or anything like that. It's really just trying to get 11 rigs up the trails that we're going up. I've been on these trails. I know what they are. I know what they're capable of. I know how difficult they are. And, anything that gives my buggy a run for the money is going to be a very, very difficult trail. And these all give my buggy a run for the money. There are jumps that you have to be able to make something. So you can't just crawl. You literally have to jump to make it up to the next level on some of these obstacles. And most of these guys have never jumped their vehicles before. And so that's something that's going to be difficult. This year's Hell and Back is definitely different from anything I've seen before, because honestly, I think that these trails are harder. You can go to the West Coast and have this exact same trail and you can idle up it because it's just grippy sandpaper rock. And in my backyard, this is not grippy sandpaper rock. It's owl snot is what we call it. And it's full of moss and it's full of leaves and it doesn't have much traction. So I feel like this year's Hell and Back is going to be a lot more difficult just because you have to have sheer horsepower. The parts are going to be abused beyond what you've seen before in the past. And some of these obstacles are literally not passable. One of the cool things about this year's Hell and Back is there is actually 2 rock bouncers, and in previous years, rock bouncers were never designed to be something that could compete in a 24 Hell and Back. The cooling systems weren't up to it, the fuel cells weren't big enough, they were super noisy and they were just, kind of obnoxious in a way. They were cool for their own reason, like racing and having big power and everything, but I think that with 2 rock bouncers being in this year's 24 Hell and Back, I think it really shows that we're evolving the sport to something that's a little bit different. Well, I'm really excited to see how both of our buggies turn out and how we are able to conquer a full 24 hours, some of the hardest terrain that we've ever been on. This year, we're doing a very remote place. Now, don't get me wrong, all the places are very remote. But when I say remote, I mean that we're in the bottom of a creek bed at the bottom of a mountain where there's absolutely no cell phone service. And if anything was to happen, the extraction of a vehicle is just compounded tenfold because of that. You can't just call and get help. You can't just, take off and go get parts. You can't just go get gas. So this is really just one of those events that's going to push us and our equipment to the absolute limits, because we have to be prepared for 24 hours, not only just climbing the obstacles and keeping awake, but also being prepared for anything that could happen. New high record.
Seconds.
3.
1.
I think I got it. I think that was 10.
No, you just touched it. You didn't get through it. So 9.
That's a 9, brother.
I can't believe I made it at all up the hill.
9.
9.
Out of time.
My name is Marvin Stammel. I'm the owner of Flex Rocks and Rollovers, and I guess the creator of 24 Hallenbeck Trail Challenge. You have no idea how hard it has become to keep finding trails that top the previous year. The first time I put eyes on this trail was April 1st or April 2nd. So that was the first time I looked at this trail, and ever since then I've been working on this hell and back. So just to put this into perspective, right now it is mid-September. So I brought old Jeepster McJeepface, 1973 Jeepster Commando, all custom everything, and a fairly new paint job. You already saw it at the last hell and back. It's got a lot more blemishes, a lot more dings and dents and scratches since then, but that's what it's there for. So this is the 624 Hallenbeck already, and this thing has been through every single one of them. I hope it survives this one. She's got a 6.1 liter Hemi V8 in this thing with a 545 RFE transmission, so Dodge Ram transmission pretty much. Atlas transfer case, Tom Woods drive shafts front and rear, going into a 14-bolt axle in the rear with 40 spline RCV performance axle shafts and a Dana 60 high pinion axle in the front, also with RCV performance shafts, 35 spline in the front. Both of them are 300M, so the strongest of the strongest. The Hemi in here is tuned with HP tuners, makes about 445, I think 440 horsepower, something like that is at least the rating. It is a 116-inch wheelbase, so it's stretched a lot for what it is for an old Jeepster. On 42-inch BF Goodrich crawler tires. We still got our brand new worn Xeon XD winch in the front, and this thing pulls like a champ. What makes the Jeep the most, but is also its biggest handicap, is that absolutely everything about this Jeep is custom. Every piece of metal that you see on this vehicle is handmade and one-off. 24 Hallenbeck, when I first started my YouTube channel, I wanted to create something special. I wanted to create a format of some sort, something that is bigger than just a YouTube video in that case, something that can kick off my YouTube channel. And that's how I came up. Hey, there is nothing that, the 24 Hour of Le Mans. I grew up in Germany, so 24 hours of Nürburgring, all of these style of events is something I grew up with. And to my knowledge, back then there was no 24-hour off-road challenge of any kind. So I thought that would be a cool idea to kind of connect to and build up on. Back then I didn't know what I was doing. I just invited a bunch of my buddies that I was really good with, went to one of my favorite parks, Windrock Park back then, filmed it all by myself on a GoPro, and we just went wheeling for 24 hours. That was like my very first YouTube video. So Matt from Bleepin' Jeep just gave us the 24-hour survival kits. No idea what this entails, but we're about to find out. First of all, bandana, Bleepin' Jeep bandana, Bleepin' Jeep keychain, a little shitbox sticker. Oh, we're gonna use these. This is gonna come in real handy. Little band-aids, Bleepin' Jeep sunglasses, and stickers, patches, and the mustache. We are in prime wheeling territory in the Southeast, and this is 1000% Southeastern wheeling at its finest, what you're going to experience. It is slick, it is steep, it is inclines that are completely against physics. Some of the things I have no idea if they're even drivable. I looked at it and I don't know. Again, guys, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this trail for a good reason, and you'll find out in the next episode why I'm hyping this up so much. I currently do not have a rev limiter in this thing, and I don't want to having to focus on feathering my gas pedal while I'm hitting a hill as hard as I can and hoping to make it up there. Thanks to HP Tuners, we got this wonderful MPVI3, which we're going to plug into our OBD2 port. Mr. Jake Berkey over here, super experienced tuner, setting up rock bouncers all day, every day with this stuff. So I'm going to take his help and his advice on this, see if we can get a rev limiter programmed into this thing. Thanks to HP Tuners MPVI3 and VCM Suite, we dialed in my rev limiter exactly where I wanted it. We started low at 3,500 RPM to ensure everything was working perfectly, then cranked it up to 6,000 RPM. Now I can push this Jeep wide open with a complete peace of mind.
So it's staying right there. So your rev limiter just sounds like this.
It's not moving.
There's no what,
There's no rat. It just goes right to a certain spot. So now you've got peace of mind. Obviously, you know, the question was like, does it have a rev limiter?
Yeah.
And if it does, what's it sound like? You know what I mean? Make
now
sure
we know.
Now you know if
It
you
just-
put this
it
thing
sounds
to the
like
floor,
wide open the
it
whole
just
time.
goes straight
Yeah.
to there and stays. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Now we know it doesn't do what tata. It goes more like wah. There's no
Yeah.
tata. There's no tata. It's just wah.
There's no, it's just wow. Yeah, exactly.
The contrast could not be any bigger this year. The lineup of drivers, you know, we got a couple of your favorite YouTubers and TV personalities paired with just good old boys, a wild card, you know, really good friends. Like the energy and the spirit of this year's group is phenomenal, and I'm super excited to hit the trail with all of these guys that are sitting outside. Okay, so Tyler, Jason, and William both made it to gate 10, to the final gate of this. Was just crazy. Anyways, now we got a tie between those three. So we're gonna let them run again, but this time we're keeping the timer, our eyes on the timer and on the gate. So whoever makes it the furthest within 24 seconds, and then basically we're breaking it down to who made it the fastest there. Seven.
Back it up. 9. 9.
Okay, he's showing off.
Oh no, now.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Jason, I think you should vote for yourself to go.
The wild card getting wild.
I think you should vote for yourself to go.
I think so.
So, what do you think? Who should go first?
I really don't know, so I guess we might as well.
Take it up on yourself?
We'll go ahead and do it.
Dude, that's a first. Heck yeah. All right. Well, we got a winner from the first ever 24-second Hellenbach. Congratulations, dude. Jason Gruss is the winner of our first ever 24-second Hellenbach and ended up voting for himself to go right behind our trail guide, Jake Berkey.
Man, this is so much fun. I need to buy me one, so I blame this on Marvin. Thank you, Marvin, making me spend money. Appreciate it.
Jason Gruss is the wild card, and his vehicle is also really wild. He's got a F1A Pro Charger on this, and what engine is it?
Stock 5.3.
So it's a 5.3 with a big supercharger. So you're gonna have the only 2 supercharged buggies, front, like first and second tomorrow.
Supercharged and rear steer.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna make everybody nervous, aren't we?
The night is slowly coming to an end. It was an amazing day. Jake just said a prayer for everybody for tomorrow, and now we got some catering for everybody. Feed the media crew, feed the participants, the co-drivers, some of the Busted Knuckle Off Road staff. Sit together for one last meal before things get serious tomorrow morning.